Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Addiction Solutions with Roselle. So glad that you could join me for another show. Before every show, I tell you, go to YouTube, go to the search engine, type in Addiction Solutions with Roselle, and subscribe. Also, hit the like button. And I also say this before every show. Go to your neighbors, your family members, your friends, co-workers, church members, and tell them to go to Addiction Solutions with Roselle. On YouTube, they have to type in Addiction Solutions with Roselle, and that brings up all of the videos that we have done prior. And let them look through them. They can scan through them. Maybe they can see something that they like or something that interests them. And, you must tell them this with the comma. Drugs and alcohol are not the only addictions. Many people get offended when you use the word addiction connected to what they do, because they associate that word with drugs and alcohol. But there are other addictions. Gambling is trying to move into the number one spot. Yes, there are casinos everywhere. There are scratch-offs everywhere. There are lotteries. There are mega Powerball. Everybody's trying to win $1 million and don't understand it's a possibility that they could get caught up gambling. There's overeating, and people associate with that being fat. It has nothing to do with your weight. Overeating consists of health problems. There's sexual addictions, and that causes problems. There are diseases out there. And we have credit cards, shopping, and there's no problem until you have to file for bankruptcy. Then maybe you look back and say, wow, why did I have 7 pair of black pants? Why did I have 8 pair of blue shoes? Why, because you were shopping. Addictions are connected to feelings and emotions. And when we feel a certain way, or we have emotions that are a certain way, we go to something that makes us feel better. And trust me, it is not always drugs and alcohol. So now we're going to get into the show. As I promised last week for you guys that joined me, we're dealing with chapter 4. In chapter 4, you guys always let me go and read from my notes. Chapter 4 says, get 12-step literature and read it. That's the title. Get 12-step literature and read it. So every recovery program or every 12-step program has literature to back up what they're talking about. So it doesn't matter what your addiction is, they have literature. Whatever 12-step program you are in, depends on your addiction, I just said that, you need to get all of the 12-step literature that pertains to your addiction. The reason the literature is important is that it was written by people just like you and I. The literature committee of each 12-step program had what we call a group conscience. A group conscience is simply when ideas are presented to the group and the group allows the spirit that is in the meeting to determine if that particular information that was suggested will help the recovering people that comes after the predecessors. The suggestions are the strengths, hopes, and experiences of the predecessors as it pertains to their recovery. With a group conscience, generally, there is no need for a vote. The group has already consciously accepted the information, so we don't have to vote. The spirit of recovery, peace, and harmony that surrounds that meeting allows the God of their understanding to decide if the information suggested should go in any type of 12-step recovery literature. I will say this, and again, this is my opinion only. There is other recovery literature that you can read that is the recovering person or their family's choice. However, the literature that is in the 12-step meetings is sanctioned by that 12-step organization's World Service office. What is the purpose of having 12-step literature in the meetings? I'm glad you asked. The literature is simply a guide of how we all, as recovering people, can get clean, stay clean, and move on to live productive lives. The literature, or I do not suggest that you agree with everything that is in the literature, a strong indication of the literature's power is that the majority of the predecessors who wrote the literature are still clean, or they went to their graves clean. The literature is their predecessors laid. The literature is their strength, hope, and experience. The literature is their trials and errors. Then there naturally were updates to most of the literature in the 12-step programs. However, the basis of how to get clean, stay clean, and go on to live a better life is still in the 12-step literature. Many people look at the literature as a how-to book. Sometimes we go to the store to purchase books on how to fix an electrical problem, plumbing, etc. They now have books under all categories for dummies. Please, I am in no way suggesting that anyone in any 12-step program is a dummy. So please, those are just the titles of the books. However, most people have seen the books Computer Information for Dummies, Tax Instruction for Dummies, and bought them to help them gain some knowledge of the situation they were dealing with. Understand? I would now like to talk about the importance of reading the literature. Once you get the basic text of your particular 12-step group, it is very important to read the book once, sort of skimming through, so to speak. When you go to your 12-step meeting, generally they will be using this text to study various steps, 12 steps or topics that are in the book. The key to reading the text is to get your own understanding of the material. Later on in the book, I will talk about a sponsor and the sponsor's role in helping you to gain an understanding of the literature. It is important as you attend your 12-step meetings to get the basic text of that meeting as soon as you can. I'm going to stop there. So this is what I'm going to do. Next week, we're going to finish up with chapter 4, because it's important. The literature, you have to have something to read while you're not at meetings. And, you know, you could be in different places with nothing to do. It's easy to pick up a pamphlet and read something that has been bothering you. So we're going to stop there. So look, go to YouTube, type in Addiction Solutions with Roselle, subscribe to the channel. I love you. Stay blessed. I'll see you next week. Have a great day.